I'm Andy Scratch, and in the studio this evening we have Scant Regard, and I'm talking to Will and Dave from the band. Good evening, chaps.
Hello, Andy.
How you doing? How you doing? I don't really know where to start with you guys. I mean, I've been listening to your music all the weekend on SoundCloud, walking around the market and everything, and I think I've beamed myself into some kind of weird 60s, 50s sort of spaghetti western. It's really intoxicating music. I mean, where did your sort of ideas come from? It's kind of Link Ray meets punk meets all sorts, isn't it, really?
Yeah, just from all different styles of music that I like, really, and the way I play the guitar is kind of lends itself to that style. And I love listening to electronic stuff as well, and soundtrack, Ennio Morricone.
Yeah. No, it really has got, and also having a live drummer in there as well. Yep. I mean, you know, having Dave in there as well, it really adds that sort of other dimension to it.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with Dave's playing, because it's so.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Right, I'm going to try and remember your album title.
Different.
It's so different.
In a primitive state of neurotic irresponsibility.
Ah, perfect.
Ah, yes.
That's brilliant.
Good.
You've reminded me what it's called.
Fantastic. And that's out soon.
Very soon, yeah. Hopefully the end of this month.
This evening we're very privileged to have Stiff Little Fingers in the studio. And I'm talking to lead singer Jake Burns.
Hi Annie, how you doing?
Good to see you, Jake. Just watching the run-through earlier as you were warming up, sounding fantastic.
Oh, well, that's good. After 2 days of rehearsal, it's nice to know we can still do it. So
that's brilliant. So you're warming up for a tour?
Yeah, we're heading out for about 3 or 4 weeks or so pretty much just around the UK and over to Ireland.
I've been a big fan of yours for a long time. I've actually got the classic album in my pocket to show the kids. This is the album you need to be buying, everybody. 35 years on the road.
I know, sad, isn't it? I think, you know, it's one of those things people have asked, you know, why do you keep going? How do you keep going? And partly we're unemployable at anything else now, so. But no, I mean, it's still fun to do.
I'm Andy Scratch, and tonight in the studio we have an absolute icon of the 80s in the shape of Lene Lovich in our band. Hi, Lene.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
A career spanning, well, 40 years. I mean, how did you first sort of get into music? I know that sort of the big break with Stiff was something to do with Charlie Gillett.
That's right. He had a radio show,
Yeah.
and there was a spot on the radio show where you could write in and request him to advertise you as a musician.
Yeah.
It was like for musicians finding bands and bands finding musicians.
Yeah.
I made contact with Charlie, and at that time he was putting together a group of musicians and invited me to join. That didn't work out.
Right.
We thought we sounded really great, but actually it was like a mess because there was 3 singers and 3 bands within one, so it was total chaos.
And they chopped it up, I think I heard.
So people went there in their different ways, and it seemed to coincide pretty much at the same time when Stiff Records was on the lookout for new artists, because there'd been a big upheaval there and a lot of the artists had left.
Yeah.
And so there was a space for me, and
brilliant.
that's
So
where
some new blood.
yeah.
I mean, obviously your most famous single, I think I'm right in saying, is Lucky Number, which I have now signed. Thank you very much. So that was then, but you're back now.
Yeah.
So what's the thinking behind coming back? Was it just you felt you wanted to get back on the road, or?
Well, a lot of it's down to opportunity. I met Jude Laurence, who's over there on the guitar, and all his friends here, and they seem to be interested in forming a band. And
so you
I really wanted to do it. But
didn't you do a big headline gig as well recently? You did a 12-bar club in London, then you did a festival in Germany.
Yeah, straight in the deep end. We went to the Drop Dead Festival in Berlin.
Yeah. And so obviously it was good, and so so you're midway through the tour now.
Yeah.
I'm Andy Scratch, and on tonight's show we have LazyTalk, and I'm talking to lead singer Pete. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks.
Good to have you on the show. Loving the EP Loserville. I think you wrote the track about me, to be honest with you.
I wrote about him, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, both of us. But, and I've done the free Facebook download, so I urge everybody to get there while you can. So have you got any festival dates coming up, or in the process?
Yeah, there's some stuff in the pipeline. Can't really say any more than that at the moment, but just, keep up to tab with us on Facebook, and we'll be putting up those dates when they come.
So Facebook's pretty much the best place to get you guys. I mean, obviously you can see the vids on YouTube.
Twitter, all the usual.
All that stuff.
Usual places.
This evening in the studio, we welcome back Carly Wilford, Loaded's music magazine columnist. How are you, Carly?
I'm really good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. So what are we talking about tonight?
Well, every single person in the music industry seems to be on tour at the moment. There's loads and loads of exciting gigs to go to.
crazy stuff. I mean, like Bowie's announced an album for the first time in 100 years, and you know, Alt J, all these kind of things. So what top gigs you got coming up in end of Jan?
Okay, so the ones that you guys need to be watching out for is a guy called Kendrick Lamar. If you haven't heard of him, you need to check him out. He just released an album and the whole of the music industry has gone absolutely mad for it. So he's on tour with the Rascals supporting, and if you get a chance to see him live, he's really, really insane. ASAP Rocky is also in the country. He's not doing that many shows, but his album's been released. So if you get a chance, check him out, because he was in Lana Del Rey's video last year. He pinched Rihanna's bum. He's getting a bit of a name for himself, but his album's ridiculous. He's collaborated with the likes of Drake and Kendrick Lamar as well. Yeah. So he's awesome.
Cool. I mean, I also noticed that Primal Scream have been announced as a headline for Wicker Man, which is pretty exciting.
Wicker Man is supposed to be an amazing festival.
Yeah, of the film. I love the film. Yeah. I love the film. So you mix the film and Primal Scream, and then you've got an absolute perfect cocktail, I reckon. You've got My Bloody Valentine are playing Brixton Electric at the end of the month. I know that Dinosaur Jr. have also got a tour starting on the 30th of January, so some pretty cool rock stuff going on as well.
You also need to be watching out for Alt J, like you mentioned earlier. Yeah. Obviously, the guys won the Mercury Music Prize. Their album is really, really awesome to listen to, but I think live they could add something really, really special. So I reckon they're one that would be really worthwhile going to. Also, there's a night going to be on at the O2, O2 Indigo, and it's called Musicalise. Okay. And basically what it is loads of our favourite acts, like urban acts, pop acts, all getting together and performing. So you've got the likes of Professor Green, Misha B, Chipmunk, a guy called McNasty, Connor Harris, Crepton Conan, and it's just a real good night. Sometimes you can go to a concert and just watch one person, but again, it's just nice to go and see loads of people all at the same time under one roof.
So it's like a mini sort of festival in a way?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
There's some other acts that are really like rising up at the moment that would be really, really worth people checking out. Bastille, they're in the Live Lounge very, very soon. And
Radio 1, yeah.
Yeah, Radio 1 Live Lounge. And he's just released an album, really, really awesome. And it's a really different sound. It's almost a little bit indie, a little bit melodic, acoustic, but really easy to listen to. So he's really worth watching. And if you like getting down with a dirty bass line, then Mode Step are the one this year. Their album's been put back and put back and put back, and it's finally being released very soon. They're on tour, going on a worldwide tour. But you probably quite like them, actually, Andy. They've got a really dirty bass line with a DJ, but then they play like rock over the top of it. And I was lucky enough to see them at Global Gathering this year, and I was in the press pit, and my ears have never been the same ever since.
Well, who doesn't like getting down with a dirty bass line? It's exactly. Perfect way to finish that. Nice seeing you, Carly.
And you.
See you soon.
Good evening and welcome to Dial M for Music. I'm Andy Scratch, and this evening we have Fearless Vampire Killers in the studio with us. And I'm going to be talking to Kier.
Hello.
Good evening, mate. And Laurence.
Hello.
And obviously we'll introduce all the rest of the guys later. Right, guys, let's start with a little bit of background about the band. Who fancies giving us a bit of info?
Yeah, I mean, we formed in our hometown in Beccles, probably 6 years ago, well, longer than that. Like when we were about 15, sort of, and then we started getting together. We moved to London, we started the band, played a load of terrible gigs in London for ages. And then, I don't know, we started getting on track. We started to play sort of out of London to younger people who actually understood what we were trying to do. And for some reason, we just got a call from Kerrang one day, said they were coming to one of our shows, which we couldn't believe, because at the time no one gave
a monkey.
Yeah, a monkey's about us. And and then suddenly things started kind of happening. But it's like we're a band that travels around, in our Iveco daily van, sleeping in the back of the van, playing gigs, It's not...
Yeah, still rock and roll.
Yeah, I think people think that we're much more kind of commercial than shiny than we are,
Well, I guess it's something to do with the look as well. I mean, Kier, where's the look come from?
Oh, mixture of things, like everything from comic books, like Drew especially is massively into kind of comics and all that jazz. And then, like films, we watch a lot of films, obviously like things like Tim Burton, but, like darker stuff as well. And we just, everything, I mean, it's easy to say, isn't it? But like, we just kind of soak up, and I've always been like attracted to the darker side of things, so we just kind of rolled with it. But it's not, it's not forever saying we're stuck here. We just like the theatricality. We like playing up to something. So
yeah, absolutely. You've got this sort of is it Grand Demeanor? Did I pronounce that right?
Grand Domino, yeah. Yeah. That was just like something that I started coming up with when we when we moved into London, it was hard to write about our situation because our situation was going to work, coming home, playing the guitar and then going to work the next day. We didn't have any friends or anything, so I kind of made this world for us to live in and write songs about called Grand Domino. But our fans, like, they dress up as characters from it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's nice to sort of see a bit of that sort of theatrics in music as well coming back because, you know, there's so much people just turn up in their jeans and T-shirts now, and it's good to see bands dressing up, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of... We did it at first because, like, when we used to play in London, everyone looked the same. They're all these kind of, you know, jangly indie bands, and we thought if we looked like mentalists, someone might take notice.
Absolutely. Standing out's the best thing. So what tracks are you going to play for us today?
We're doing Bow Ties on Dead Guys, Could We Burn, Darling, and Fetish for the Finite.
Fabulous. So where can anyone find information about Fearless Vampire Killers, finally, before I let you get on with it?
On the internet.
Really?
Google it. Honestly, there's not many bands called Fearless Vampire Killers. Will probably come up. Is there? Oh, well, there's the Fearless Vampire Killers, isn't there, in Australia? But don't worry about them.
Okay.
We're the top thing on Google, so just type
We would be.
Fearless Vampire Killers.
Cool. Okay, guys. Well, I'll let you get on with it. This is Fearless Vampire Killers, not the Fearless Vampire Killers, and they're going to rock you now. So see you later, guys.
Hello, I'm Jordan Thomas. This is Dial M for Music, and Andy and I are in bed, as we are most nights. Very strange indeed. But Andy, you've brought your band along today, haven't you? So, well, go on, give us some information about them. What's their first single going to be called?
Information. Well, it's Dolly Dynamite, actually. And is it evening or morning? I can never tell when I'm in bed with you.
It's always that good, that's why. But Dolly Dynamite's my band's first single, so do I have to start suing you for copyright?
I don't think so, because we're the Tuesday Club.
We're sharing the same name as well.
I don't think so. Just because we share the same bed, we're not sharing the same band. I think you may be deluded. But actually, over there, see, my band, there's the Beautiful Wolf, there's the Minx, and there's Dave Worm. They're in my band.
No, they're in my band as well.
Not Fabulous Glabarossa and Jerry Berry.
Yeah, them too.
Titty Bartelski?
Afraid so.
Can't be.
How
about J-Rod? Is he in the band?
I think we need to go and find out.
Okay, let's go and have a look.
So is this your band? Or it's my band? It's all our band. With the Tuesday Club.
You're watching Talking Heads February, and in the studio we welcome back Carly Welford, who is Loaded's magazine's music columnist and everything else in the world, I imagine, these days.
I'm really busy in music at the moment.
You are really busy in music. You're always really busy in music. You're an example to me. An example? Oh, we might talk about him, mightn't we?
That's a very good link. I like what you did there.
Accidentally getting slick. I didn't mean it.
And slightly funny.
Can I just... Row? I'm always slightly funny. Right,
That's
OK.
happened.
Tell me a little bit about what's happening early Feb.
OK, so February, it's all about the Brit Awards. It's been an incredible year in music, and I really, really think that this year's show should be really quite cool. Emily Sandé's performing, Mumford & Sons, Ben Howard, One Direction, apparently. We'll talk about them in a second.
OK, yeah.
And more importantly, Muse. Now, Muse is a band, whenever they're live, bring the house down. There's a couple more bands I want to talk about on tour, actually, in February. So Examples got a tour. One Direction are on tour as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. I've got to give it that.
You're going to be at the front row.
Oh, absolutely.
Trying to get your hands off Harry Styles. So that's Example. And one guy which everyone needs to get involved with right now is Jake Bugg.
Yeah, yeah.
Jake Bugg is a guy who is literally really young, like 17, 18, 19 years old. I can't remember his exact age, but he's toured with Noel Gallagher already. And
I was going to say, I'll be careful how I word it, but he's kind of his protege.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost
and
at the moment, yeah.
He's got a sort of Bob Dylan-esque twang to him. His album was really, really well received. But one guy to really, really watch out for this year. And if you can get tickets to go to his tour, it's really, really worth going to see him live. He's amazing.
Yeah, another band that we've featured on certainly on video, Two Door Cinema Club. They're playing Brixton on the 8th of February. And also an album to mention, Johnny Marr's got a solo album coming out at the end of Feb, which will be, I imagine, pretty exciting. I think that's quite a lot of stuff going on in Feb. So get out there, go and see all these things and check us out for the end of Feb pretty soon, yeah?
And more importantly, 14th of February is Valentine's Day, guys. So if you're watching, make sure you look after your girlfriend and buy her something nice. And if not, get tickets to go and see someone on tour.
Yeah, maybe One Direction. That could be the wrong direction, actually. Thank you very much. See you again soon. Good evening, I'm Andy Scratch, and in the studio this evening we have a fantastic new band called Filthy Boy, and I'm talking to lead singer Paraic. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
You've got a single out, Mental Conditions. Is that out now, or is it coming out soon?
It's coming out in 29th of April.
Okay, coming out, brilliant. And you've got an album as well?
Yeah, coming out on the 1st, the day after.
Fantastic. Is that called Smile Won't Go Down?
Smile That Won't Go Down.
Yeah, okay. I found, reading your PR, that you're actually only sort of just 20. I mean, it sounds, you know, your lyrical content sounds like you're, you know, sort of at least 60. So where does it all come from? I mean,
we have a
crazy words.
60-year-old who writes for us.
Oh, really?
So,
fantastic. We're doing our Talking Head spot this week over Spike's mixing desk. So apologies if we're leaning on anything. Guest this evening is Jack Fratini.
Hello, everyone.
So you're going to talk to us about the end of February, what's going on in Muzak.
Yes, absolutely.
So what is going on?
Well, there's a lot going on for February. I would like to introduce you guys this band called Deep Valley. If you like female duo, that's a perfect band for you. Also, if you're into a bit of blues and sweaty rock and roll, and they're touring in UK.
Yep.
So if you're about on the 26th of February, go and check them out at the Dingwalls in Camden. It's a very intimate gig and a perfect way to kind of understand and see what the band's like.
Good gig. I lost one of my rings watching The Damned in the mosh pit at the Dingwalls, and it's tight, but it's good.
I love it.
Yeah, excellent stuff. So what else is going on?
What else is going on? We got Fall Out Boy, which they're back. Apparently they never split up, but they just back on taking the world again. If you guys are about on the 25th of February again, go and see them at the Camden Underworld. They're going to have a really intimate show just for the UK fans before, I believe, having a proper tour later on this year.
A couple of bits that I noticed this week that have been announced. Apparently Elton John is going to be on the new Queens of the Stone Age album, which is interesting. Also, there's a single out by Jack White and Gibby Haynes of...
Definitely check that out.
Butthole Surfers, of course.
Absolutely.
Lost my brain there. But that's... but apparently they're putting it out on X-ray... Was it X-ray material? I can't remember what they said. Printed on X-ray.
All the new
stuff. You got anything else for Feb that isn't in Camden?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, mate. I think for this week we're all good to go.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you very much, Jack. I'm sure we'll see you again.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi, I'm Andy Scratch, and you're watching Dial M for Music. This evening, we're very privileged to have in the studio one of the most, I reckon, legendary voices of certainly of the 80s of rock and roll. We've got Kirk Brandon and the wonderful Spear of Destiny. Good evening, Kirk.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. So you've just come back literally off tour last night?
The tour ended last night. Been out there for a month and going very well. Thank you.
Was that touring Outland, I believe? Was that the...
Yeah, it was touring Outland and some new songs, you know. Always try to keep it current, you know, and that it is like an ongoing concern as opposed to my very own karaoke band.
So apart from obviously the Outland tour you just done, you've been touring with Stiff Little Fingers as well this year.
Yeah, really great. Old friends, and I used to live in the same flat as the bass player Ali back in 1980 or something. So go back a long way with them, and it was a great tour. You know, big crowds. SLF always have big crowds, and went down pretty well with their fans.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, you touring again with them next year, I believe.
There's nothing scheduled. Maybe we'd like to. You know, it's an easy thing to do. You know, it's not like hard graft going out there with people that really don't want to be in the same room as you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what tracks are you going to actually be playing for us today?
Two old ones. We're going to do a Rainmaker and Mickey, and we're going to do one from the recent album, which we did about 2 years ago. The album's called Omega Point, and the song is Undertow.
Cool. So, I mean, you've got, I think that's 12 albums, I read studio albums you've had done. So, are you working on new material for another album, or, you're just kind of evolving as you go, really?
I've only got about 3 or 4 song ideas at the moment. Yeah, I'd like to do something next year at some point.
Great. So you got kind of an EP on the go, virtually, yeah.
That's very old school, yeah.
It's actually new school again now. Yeah, it's the way it goes. Anyway, lovely to meet you guys, and have a good show. Cheers, Kirk. Thanks a lot.
Good evening, and welcome to Talking Heads, Jack Fratini.
Hello, everyone.
So how's it going, Jack? What's going on for early March?
All right, so yeah, we got a lot going on actually. Yeah, this week is going to be a bit of a busy week, I think. We got, I think I really like female rock and roll style sort of thing. I think last time as well I was talking about Deep Valley, but this week I'm bringing up Misty Miller, which she just released a new EP, Girlfriend, and it's a very sort of 70s rock and roll kind of style. Also, do you remember that band called Him from the Finnish band? They as well coming back with a new album. They just recently announced it, and straight away they placed at a nicely intimate gig at the Dingwalls in Camden. And also The Darkness, they are back. Also, they released their album a while ago, early summer, but they back on touring at the HV Hammersmith in a couple of weeks. So check them up as well.
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned Camden. I was getting a bit worried then. HMV, talking about HMV, I noticed this week they were announcing that record companies are going to try and do more in-store gigs. I was wondering what you felt about that idea. I think, you know, possibly a good way of keeping some of the bigger stores open at least.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea. You know, I mean, I was reading a newspaper actually on news. I mean, Elton John is going to be one of the artists is going to join this kind of like campaign to help the HMV to raise a bit of money and kind of like keep it alive, pretty much. So Elton John might be one of the guests for this, and I think it's a great idea. You know, why not see the band in an intimate, in a kind of intimate environment? Music, live music is always good to get involved. I think in this kind of thing.
Plus, also, you don't need to set up your merch stall because it's already there in store. Anyway, thanks very much, Jack. I think we've covered early March, or certainly the first week, and I'll see you again for the second week pretty soon, I reckon.
See you soon.
I'm Andy Scratch, and this evening I've changed 8 of my leather jacket because we have with us on the show tonight Mr. B, the gentleman rhymer. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
For those who haven't seen your millions of videos and all the hits you've had on YouTube, can you just explain to the folks out there a little bit about yourself?
Well, I do a little something what I call chap hop, which is reconnecting hip-hop and its ilk to manners and the Queen's English and that sort of thing. So, you know, if you can imagine perhaps Terry Thomas, Chuck D and Noel Coward having a swift sherry in a bar or something like that and deciding to form a band, it's probably something along those lines.
Excellent stuff. I've seen that, that in your distinguished career that you've played from, I think you've done Glastonbury up to the Edinburgh Fringe and all the other bits and bobs in between.
Indeed, yes.
How do you find festivals?
Festivals, well, festivals are splendid fun, really. And they're perfect for someone like me who makes a bit of noise but also is entertaining, I like to think. I'm certainly not a heads down in the instrument, sort of, you know, looking at shoegazing and that sort of thing.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It wouldn't be cricket, would it?
Absolutely.
So you've got 3 albums out, I think, currently, and you've got a new one out in the summer. But
Indeed.
your current album is The Tweed, and I have a copy here.
There we go, the Tweed album, yes.
Viewers.
Yes, you've had the White album, the Black album, the Brown album.
And we've got
the Tweed album.
Marvellous. Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the tracks, the Bullingdon Breakdown is a particularly excellent title, I think.
Indeed, yes. Well, that's the sort of second part of my song, They Don't Allow Rappers in the Bullingdon Club. Yes, which is about my time at Oxford and a group of chaps I met there who I don't really wish to talk about anymore, to be honest with them.
I can't imagine you want to see the videos either.
Possibly not.
So, you're a banjolele player. Is that your own invention, or is there such thing as a banjolele?
There is indeed. There was...
And this is it here?
There it is down there, the old girl. No, George Formby played a banjolele, largely. It's a ukulele, essentially, but with a banjo drum. And, yeah, Bertie Wooster in a P.G. Woodhouse one was once... I think Jeeves decided to leave his employ because he took up the banjolele. OK,
so you've got the banjolele extension on your ukulele. That's pretty much
That's pretty much it, yes.
Pretty much where we are. So, pipe smoking, high society, cricket and sexual misadventure. See, I wouldn't have put that quite with the rest of your raison d'etre.
Well, perhaps, but, you know, one must live a rich and full life, you see. So there are, you know, all human life is there, really, in its way.
Absolutely. Well, you're probably perfect for loaded TV, I think.
I would think so, yes.
So, what track will you be kicking off this evening, then, if that's the correct vernacular?
Well, a ditty, you could call it, I
suppose.
Yes.
Ditty would be correct.
I'm going to start off with a little song which, well, it's got two important ingredients, really. Firstly, it's got a list of rules with which most of the people hopefully here will live their lives after hearing it. And then secondly, a sing-along chorus, which I'm hoping people perhaps in the studio and at home will perhaps sing along to.
What is the sing-along chorus?
It's called Hail the Chap.
Hail the Chap. OK, so we have Chap Hop exponent, Mr B, and take it away, Mr B. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
In the studio again this evening, we have Carly Wilford, who is the Loaded resident music columnist in the magazine, as well as everything else.
You got it right, Andy.
Ah, I got it right.
Amazing.
It's an absolute miracle.
Finally.
I know. I'm sorry, I'm being professional, which is so unlike me. OK, end of January, what's going on? OK,
so right now, it's all about Disclosure.
Yep.
Those guys are absolutely awesome. They've just released a track with Aluna George called White Noise, and it's literally gone mad all over the internet. And then Plan B is going to be playing at the O2.
OK.
So that's going to be really, really cool.
Finishes filming, back to music.
Exactly. After the success of Ill Manners, did really well in the Mercuries, is nominated for Brit Awards, and is being supported by Rudimental and by Labyrinth as well. So they're going to be at the O2. But just before that, Labyrinth's got a gig at a night called Lovedo, which is at Proud Galleries in Camden, where he's headlining. And hopefully, because he's got quite a lot of brothers and sisters, and hopefully some of his...
Should fill the place then.
Yeah, and not only that, but on the stage, because they all are in music. So he's got a sister called Shazar, who's really strong, and then he's got a brother called McNasty as well, who's a drummer, who's really awesome.
Excellent. Skrillex, I got the name right? Yeah.
Skrillex.
Set his hair on fire. See, this is a bit of urban stuff, you know, I'm trying to cross over.
Yeah, Skrillex.
What did he do, setting his hair on fire? Publicity stunt or an accident?
I don't know, I think, was he blowing some candles out on a cake?
I'm not really sure,
I think so. And he leant over, and because he's got really long hair with, it trimmed in at the side, I think it set fire to his hair.
That's what these urban kids do to, you know, try and get in the news, I think, these days, because there's so many urban kids around.
The thing is with Skrillex, he's a more sort of dubsteppy, electronic bass producer, I'd say.
Hot-haired guy.
Very hot-haired.
Hot-haired.
Hot-headed.
Well, also on the indie side of things, I noticed that being a St Albans person myself, Enter Shikari are out on tour.
Because we were chatting about Enter Shikari earlier, weren't we?
We were.
Now, it's all about the 100 Club right now.
Yep.
Because Converse have taken it over.
Yep, saved it, basically, didn't they?
Absolutely, and Shikari have got a gig there. Now, the 100 Club only has, 200-300 capacity.
Yeah.
So that's going to be mental.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to one of their gigs?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, St Albans, yeah.
It's mad.
They're big in St Albans. Well, they're big in a lot of places.
Their fans are crazy.
They are crazy. It's a big crossover band, that's the thing.
Do you like moshing?
Do I like moshing? Of course I like moshing.
Do you get involved?
Yeah, of course I get involved.
How do you start a mosh pit?
Well, I just get kicked on the floor and everyone treads on me normally. That's how it works. Pigeon Detectives have got a single out as well. They haven't been doing much for a while. Animal, out on the 28th of January. And also Tokyo Rocks, they've announced that, and Blur are one of the bands, and obviously every time Blur played, then you need to mention that. Right, OK, I think I'm pretty much done, apart from to mention that the Mars Volta split up this week, and I just wanted to mention it because the reason they split up was the classic musical differences, and I thought it was quite a nice way to finish off our January Talking Heads. Musical differences, everybody. Thank you, and good night.
Hi, I'm Andy Scratch, and you're watching Dial M. This evening in the studio, we have Legend in Japan, and I'm talking to lead singer Shabby. Hi, Shabby. How you doing?
I'm lovely, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. I've been looking at your stuff on YouTube, and is skate punk a fair description?
I think, had you spoken to us yesterday, it would have been an entirely apt description, but on the train up here this morning, we decided we're now alternative rock.
An exclusive then for Dial M. Fantastic.
Yeah, no worries.
Stuff you've been doing this year. I know you've got an EP out.
Yeah, we've literally just released our EP, though we're actually going to be releasing it officially in... when are we releasing it officially? February the 9th at the Garage in London. Yeah, it's been a fun year. We only got together on March the 30th, so it's all moving quite quickly.
And you played Rebellion Festival in the summer, so that's pretty cool.
We did play Rebellion. That was quite a weekend.
Good evening, I'm Andy Scratch, and this evening in the studio we have Model Society, and I'm talking to Danny, lead singer. Hi Danny, how you doing?
How you doing? You all right, mate?
I'm all right. So, yeah, I know you got a new single, Systematic, coming out. We'll talk about that in a bit. Cool. But I just wanted to sort of fill in a bit more info for the viewers. I know last year was a pretty big year for you. You had BBC Six Horizons single.
Yeah, we had that out last year. Did well with Six Music, BBC London.
I know Stephen Mack was playing that quite a lot. And you had Sunday Morning Calling. Is that the current track you've got out.
That was the last one we had out, yeah, towards the end of last year.
So, apart from that, can you give the viewers a little bit of background info on Model Society? How long you've been going, etc.?
Yeah, we've been going a couple of years, kind of indie kind of punk band, sort of talking about everyday kind of issues, really. You know.
Yeah, I mean, from listening to your stuff, I mean, I think I know you describe yourself as indie punk, but I think you've also got quite a lot of Britpop in there. Do you reckon?
Yeah, elements of that. You know, that's kind of what we grew up on.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of that kind of Britpop period, as well as the older sort of punky stuff. But yeah, we've definitely got similarities with that Britpop. You know.
Yeah, I was getting
character songs.
I was getting a bit of Inspiral Carpets as well. I mean, not quite the Farfisa, but you've definitely got a bit of that going on as well. I know last year you played Festival and you did a bit of a residency at the Great Escape.
Yep.
Have you got any festival plans this year?
We have. We're currently sort of booking them up and that. We've had a few offers for the summer, so yeah.
Cool.
Festival was a good highlight last year, so we're building on from that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the single, it's out at the end of March?
Yeah, March 25th.
Okay,
Yep.
so is that just a track on its own as a download, or is it part of an EP?
It's a track on its own at the moment, but it's going to be part of an EP,
Okay.
which we're looking to sort of put out a bit later on in the year.
Good evening and welcome to Talking Heads. Once again, I have Jordan in my van and we're going to talk just a little bit about Record Store Day, which is coming up very soon. Jord, welcome back.
Hello, nice to be back in your van without the handcuffs this time.
Yes, well, you know, I have to keep you here and keep your interest somehow. Just to have a little bit of a chat about Record Store Day. Been going about 5 years in this country. It started off a lot of independent bands releasing a lot of independent stuff in independent shops. It's evolved into a little bit of a corporate fest. Is that fair?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Record Store Day was created because everybody knows that record stores are dying very quickly. As in you can walk around London and you can see lots of small boutique record shops. Outside of London, not that many. I probably can name about one, I think, in the place where I'm from. Whereas it was put together originally to try and save these places and help out bands that are doing small releases on vinyl, CD, especially for Record Store Day, it's suddenly become this sort of big corporate PR machine, and now all the majors getting involved in it. And while you could say that is a good thing in some ways, in other ways it does push out the little man out of the equation, and it's a shame really when the whole day was actually set up to help out the little man.
And I think with HMV going bust and everything else, it's a real shame that everyone isn't getting behind little shops and little bands.
Exactly, and I think there's got to be a thing on the part of the shops as well, is that when the smaller shops are going to be looking for what releases to stock for Record Store Day, don't go looking for the latest things from Sony or Universal or all the large labels. Go looking in your local area, because I bet you will find some real gems that are there, that they're living there. They put them out on vinyl. They've done some really interesting little bits and pieces. And also, you get the bands to play in store as well. I know a lot of places are starting to come up with really creative little concepts like that, and really make a big thing about the Record Store Day. But most importantly, keep it interesting and keep it local as well.
Absolutely, that's it. Support the little guy. 20th of April, that's when it kicks off. So anyway, thanks a lot, George, and we'll see you again soon, mate.
Cool.
And in the studio this evening we have The Strangers, and I'm talking to Covo and Bobby from the band. Welcome, chaps.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So The Strangers, new band to me until I've been on YouTube and done all the usual.
Yeah.
You got a new single coming out.
Yes, I Feel Strange.
I Feel Strange. The video's quite strange.
It's very strange.
Where'd you shoot the vid?
We shot the video at our studio down in Elephant and Castle, and we also shot cutaways and parts at the last gig we done on Rattlesnake in Angel.
Okay.
Islington.
I was going to mention Rattlesnake because I've been looking up your gig dates.
Yes.
And you've got a few coming up.
We have, yeah. We got a residency there, and the first one is on March the 8th.
Yep.
And then following months we're in there basically.
Cool.
But, wicked venue, and we love it. It's like home.
OK, well, check it out, viewers.
In the studio this evening, we have The Union, and I'm talking to their principal songwriters of the band, Luke and Peter. Welcome, chaps, to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Good to see you. So we're in the midst of the third album at the moment.
Yep.
It's just about to come out, The World Is Yours.
That's it.
And you've got a tour on the go, basically.
Yep.
Cool. I mean, this album's hot on the heels of your last album, Siren Song. That was only last year.
Yeah, we don't hang about.
No, obviously not.
Yeah.
Obviously not. So, and obviously being your third album, the first one was out in 2010, was it?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, so what's the? Are you gaining momentum? Is that how you've ended up with 2 albums in 2 years?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we both write together. You know, we both write songs individually and together. So there's always, you know, there's never a lack of material to go about. So
Sure.
keeps us off the streets.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I also saw that last year you did Download. I mean, you've done tours with Whitesnake and you know, many other bands as well. So you're constantly on the road, are you, and writing? Basically.
Yeah. Got to keep that up.
Good to keep busy. I mean, the industry's changed a lot the last few years. Whereas it used to be kind of good enough to put out an album every sort of 2 years and tour kind of occasionally. Now I think because it's so competitive, there's so many people releasing music digitally in all sorts of ways. So I think if you're lucky enough to get your foot in the door, I think you've got to kind of prize it open, and the best way to do it is to keep working.
I was going to say as well, there's a few, you know, been up for awards. I mean, it's a Classic Rock Album of the Year award for Siren Song last year, I believe. Yeah. And also, Peter, you won an award a few years ago, did you? For a songwriting award.
Yeah. In America, WC Handy Award for Blues Song of the Year it was.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there was 2 other blokes, British blokes, and you're only the 3rd one. I've never heard of the other 2 guys. Is it Eric Clapton and Peter Green, was it?
Yeah, apparently.
But anyway, I've heard of you, but I mean, I haven't heard of them. But
yeah, no, that was really good. So it came out the blue. It was a song I wrote a few years ago over there. It's just made a demo of it, and then a couple of years later, I got a call saying that Little Milton, who was blues, you know, wanting to cover it. So.
I'm here in North London at the Lexington with 2 of the band The Computers. I've got Al, lead singer, and I've got Aidan, the drummer. How do you do?
Hello.
I do okay, thank you.
Very good.
So we're here tonight because this is the first date of your free tour.
Yep, first date.
Yep.
Free show, free tour.
And it's like a countrywide tour as well.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like 5... North,
south, east, west.
Yeah. And Scotland as well.
There you go.
Some people would say is another country.
We're
going abroad.
It's north. It's definitely north. And it's perfect weather for it.
Yeah,
so, free tour, but also you're promoting Disco Sucks, new single.
First single off our new forthcoming record. Yeah.
So that's out February the 4th, I believe.
It is indeed.
Album April.
End of April. So everyone knows more information about it than I do. I'm told the end of April.
I saw your manager earlier. I think he sort of let it slip.
Okay, there you go.
I've let that slip now as well.
Cool. End of April. Very end.
Cool. So, apart from you know, what you're doing now, can you give our viewers just a bit of a history of The Computers? What you've been up to when you started,
what
etc.?
haven't we been up to?
Yeah, well, I know. I've seen some of your YouTube stuff, and you've been up to quite a lot. But give us a little brief resume.
For as long as we've been going,
really,
which is what, 5 years now, 5 and a bit. Yeah, in various stages of our sort of like all under the same name, and we've played everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you. I've actually seen you play twice. I said earlier at Leopoldusa down in Cornwall. So that
must have been a treat. They were good shows. I remember. That guy trying to get up on stage and like fight me. The first time we played, and the bouncers just sort of like took him out, and I was like giving it this.
Is that why you were hiding right at the top of the stage, though? You climbed up to the top?
Climbed to the top. There was nothing he could do. He couldn't get me.
So you've got, when I saw you there, both times wearing all white, you've got a bit of a new look for the video?
Yeah, new look for the whole rest of the near future.
Okay.
Yeah, with new sound on the new record and new look, sure.
Your show's starting, I don't know, in a couple of hours' time, so I guess you're going to need a bit of a chill now.
I'm going to do my hair, get my hair really big. You know, it's not big enough.
Right. So if anybody wants to see your hair in full effect, where are they going to see it? Facebook.
Oh yeah, Facebook, Twitter, all of that normal stuff.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all that jazz.
And your vid, if they go to your Facebook, I think there's a link there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. It's on YouTube, so everyone can watch it. Unless you're in Germany, in which case you've got to watch it on Vimeo.
Oh, okay.
There's some rules.
It's a Berlin rule, is it?
Apparently, it's actually a thing.
Oh, okay. Have a great show tonight. Have a great tour, and I look forward to seeing you at Leopoldusa again in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got Kim in the studio from Never Enough Notes, and we're going to be talking about gigs and upcoming stuff for the end of January. So, hi, Kim.
Hi, how are you?
I'm not too bad. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, you too. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, but I was more looking forward to what's going on with the gigs and everything coming up for the new year.
No, it's quite an exciting year we've got coming, I think, in 2013.
Seems pretty cool. So what have we got in the way of gigs for the next couple of weeks?
Right, well, Monday 21st January is quite a big day. We've got The Computers at the Lexington in London.
Yep.
And they're pretty good. Joy Formidable released an album. Their new album, Wolf's Law's coming out. They're actually supporting Block Party in February at Earl's Court as well, so that's pretty big.
Yep.
Thursday, 24th of Jan, they're appearing at Rough Trade East in London, so get your wristbands for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the 28th of January, also at Rough Trade East, we have got the History of Apple Pie, quite a quirky indie band, quite ethereal.
Yeah.
That's now album launch show for their album Out of View, and they're going on a UK tour after that.
That's good stuff coming up. Festivals. Is it too early to talk about festivals?
Never too early to talk about festivals.
Okay.
It's 2013, so now we can start planning where we're going.
Totally.
I myself am going to South by Southwest.
Oh, really?
Of course.
Who's paying for that?
And I'm going out there for 5 weeks. I'm going to be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, following the festival and the run-up to it as well. So I'm also really looking forward to Tomorrowland in Belgium.
Yep.
That's the last weekend of July. No real lineup for that yet, but last year they had some massive headliners. It's quite a bit of a dance festival.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like some UK secret garden party.
Yes.
Times 1,000.
Really?
On something. It's, yeah,
Fabulous.
quite something.
So some new tips. Band called Temples.
Yes.
Who, they sound a bit like, to me, Sparks and the cross between Sparks and the Birds, so from the 60s, so they've got a really good vibe going on. There's also another band called Savages.
They've been making quite a few waves actually towards the end of last year.
And there's an all-girl band that I like the look of called Deep Valley as well. They kind of remind me a little bit of sort of an all-girl White Stripes, but they've got sort of a good vibe going on.
That's a really good comparison actually. It's sort of like sexy without trying too hard, some really good bass lines in there.
Right, thanks a lot, Kim. Good to see you.
Yeah.
We are back with Talking Heads, and we're back with Jack Fratini.
Yo,
how you
hello,
doing, Jack?
Thanks very much
It
for
seems
having
like
me again.
no time since I saw you in the studio.
I know, and we're still here at the desk. You know,
We're still at the
because
desk.
we
I
love
know.
it.
We
Yeah.
keep coming back to the desk. We love the
fantastic.
desk. So
I
we're
like
now
this.
talking the
We got
beginning of
some
March.
yes, we got some good music coming up.
Yep.
Bastille is a great band. Apparently is the new indie rock coming up, and obviously they
I've heard of Bastille.
David Pompey is now hit the 1 million views on YouTube, which is
Really?
amazing. Is only about 3 weeks. It's been out for 3 weeks or so.
Okay.
So that's great for the band. They're really happy. They're now on tour for beginning of March, a few dates. Obviously, you can go and check them up on the website, bastille.com. End of April, they hitting on Europe. So if you guys are out in Europe, just go and check them out.
Sure.
Definitely. Also, we're talking about these great lads, Don Broco. Don't know if you familiar with that?
Yeah, I think they could well be from down my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Hertfordshire way.
Yeah, they're all like, all based on that area. And I remember I've seen them like ages ago when little kids still, playing a little pub and trying to, be a rock stars. Now they're massive. They get massive. They announced recently they sold out the first UK tour.
Right.
That's amazing.
Well done, chaps.
And so go and check them out, donbroker.com for all the tour dates. And if you like very catchy choruses, that's the perfect band for you.
What else is going on?
What else we got? Sun City, the movie directed by Dave Grohl, which he's having a massive success, and he is coming out. Obviously, you can buy it now on the soundcitymovie.com. It's obviously for people that are interested in recording and seeing the background and seeing what's happening in the studio. But also, it's coming up on DVD 12th of March, and same as the album.
All right, Jack, well, thanks a lot, and
No problem.
I'm sure we'll see you again.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
See you soon.
Good evening and welcome to Talking Heads. Once again, I have Jordan in my van, and we're going to talk just a little bit about Record Store Day, which is coming up very soon. Jord, welcome back.
Hello, nice to be back in your van without the handcuffs this time.
Yes, well, I have to keep you here and keep your interest somehow. Just to have a little bit of a chat about Record Store Day. Been going about 5 years in this country. It started off a lot of independent bands releasing a lot of independent stuff in independent shops. It's evolved into a little bit of a corporate fest. Is that fair?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Record Store Day was created because everybody knows that record stores are dying very quickly. As in, you can walk around London and you can see lots of small boutique record shops. Outside of London, not that many. I probably can name about one, I think, in the place where I'm from. Whereas it was put together originally to try and save these places and help out bands that are doing small releases on vinyl, CD, you know, especially for Record Store Day, it's suddenly become this sort of big corporate PR machine, and now all the majors getting involved in it. And while you could say that is a good thing in some ways, in other ways it does push out the little man out of the equation, and it's a shame really when the whole day was actually set up to help out the little man.
And I think, you know, with HMV going bust and everything else, it's a real shame that everyone isn't getting behind little shops and little bands.
Exactly, and I think there's got to be a thing on the part of the shops as well, is that when the smaller shops are going to be looking for what releases to stock for Record Store Day, don't go looking for, you know, the latest things from Sony or Universal or, you know, all the large labels. Go looking in your local area, because I bet you will find some real gems that are there, that they're living there. They put them out on vinyl. They've done some really interesting little bits and pieces. And also, you know, you get the bands to play in store as well. I know a lot of places are starting to come up with you know, really creative little concepts like that, and really make a big thing about the Record Store Day. But most importantly, keep it interesting and keep it local as well.
Absolutely, that's it. Support the little guy. You know, 20th of April. That's when it kicks off. So anyway, thanks a lot, George, and we'll see you again soon, mate.
Cool.
Good evening, I'm Andy Scratch, as you well know, and this evening I have Jack Fratini back in the studio for Talking Heads.
Hello Andy, you alright there?
Yeah, not too bad, feeling a little bit off colour at the moment, but you know, going to soldier on through. How's the second week in March shaping up for gigs and other stuff?
Well, we're shaping up pretty busy again. We got a Scant Regard coming up with a new single, 11th of March, put that on your diary, and also they're going to be back on tour from the 13th of March, doing a UK tour. So wherever you are in the UK, you should go and check them out.
Okay, 11th of March, you say that. That's David Bowie's album is out, of course, on that date too.
Fantastic.
Yes, the single, of course, is out already, but yeah, looking forward to the album, hoping it's going to be Scary Monsters too, as Tony Visconti and everybody is reckoning.
Wow, I've got something else for you, really. A band from the US called Walk the Moon. Have you heard about them yet?
No, I'm about to hear it now. Fill us in.
Well, Walk the Moon, they just finished a UK tour, and they're releasing a new single, and I'm pretty sure we'll see them some few festivals this summer. So Walk the Moon, check them up. And also a very interesting fact of the live show, they all come dressed up and all face painted and everything.
Dressed up?
Yeah, all dressed up like...
I'm not sure that'll work on telly.
Well, no. No, obviously, you know, something new to come up there, you know. But I think bands and artists, they're always looking for new things to come up with, you know.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
So,
we're always looking for new angles on this show.
Myself, you know, myself indeed, yeah.
Okay, anyway.
One more thing, actually.
Okay.
The Strokes. Have you heard about a new single?
I don't want you talking about the Strokes while I'm in here, but yeah, carry on.
Well, I know that's not probably the right moment, but the Strokes, anyway, coming up with a new single, really friendly radio play, and they are probably back on tour and doing a festival this summer, so
fabulous. I've seen the Strokes many times, and yeah, they never disappoint, so that's good news. Well, Jack, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Hopefully I'll see you next time.
I hope so too, yeah, because I do miss your face in a bit.
Really?
See you soon, mate. Cheers.
We'll leave it there, everybody.
I'm Andy Scratch, and in the studio this evening we have Tiny Dragons, and I'm talking to lead singer Lizzie. How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good to see you. First of all, before we go into everything, great to see a girl playing bass.
It's always good.
I haven't seen a bass player. I mean, we've been talking about bass players all around the studio, but Susie Quattro is the one I remember from the 70s, so it's great to see a girl rocking the bass. So can you tell us a little bit about Tiny Dragons? I know you're from Brighton, and I know you've done a few bits, but just give us a bit of background.
Yes, as I said, so we're Tiny Dragons. We're obviously from Brighton. We've been playing together for about two and a bit years, 2 to 3 years. Yeah. We were originally another band before then, so we've basically transited now. We've got 3 members, and we play kind of alternative and soul dance music, really.
Hi, I'm Andy Scratch, and in the studio this evening we have hip-hop, punk, soul, I don't know how many genres that we fit into one band, but we've got Red and Pink in the studio this evening.
Hiya.
Pleased to see you girls.
Thank you.
What I'd like to know really, first off, I think, is a bit of a history of the band, just to tell the viewers, you know, what you've been up to and how you got together.
Well, Trish and I are long-time friends, basically. We've known each other since we were kids. Yeah. And we've been working together for a very long time, sort of messing around and finding our sound and
from
experimenting.
bedroom to like, you know,
But this-
actually making the records.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So getting the band together, yeah.
Exactly. This formation's been like over the last couple of years really developing into what it is now, and the new album that's gonna come out.
Yeah, well,
Been
I read
developing that.
somewhere that you've written 1,000 songs, so it's going to be a pretty impressive album. Yes. I mean, I don't know how many chop-ups
will.
that makes. It's not a triple, it's a quadri, whatever it will be.
It's
wouldn't
like
it?
that chapter of our life now put into the
Sort of
album.
Lord of the Rings, but as an album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's written and kind of in mastering, I think you said.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
It's just
any
in
idea
mastering.
for a release date, or you?
Hopefully in the next couple of months,
Yeah.
right?
As soon as possible.
Cool.
Right, I thought that went pretty well, Jack. Jack? Went pretty well. What do you think? Jack? Hello? Is anybody there? Just wondered if, you know, it's worked out all right, this, but it's getting a bit hot in this bag. Jack, are you there? Jack? Oh, bugger.